असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय.
India is evident in its great monuments. Today, I welcome you all on the presentation Monuments Printed on Indian Currency. To begin with the thought, monuments and archaeological pieces serve as testimonies of man's greatness and establish a dialogue between civilizations, showing the extent to which human beings are linked. So, let us walk around the monuments printed on Indian currency. First, we have the rupees 10 note. The note we can see in the picture is the new series of rupees 10 note which was introduced on 5th January 2018 by RBI. Can you tell what is the picture printed on its back? The monument which we can see on the back of rupees 10 note is the famous Sun Temple, also known as Surya's Chariot, located in Konark, Odisha. This was built by King Narasimha Dev in 13th century. Sun Temple is an apt example of Hindu tradition that embraces Mother Nature. There are 24 wheels depicting 24 hours of the day and 7 horses depicting days of the week. Next we have the rupees 20 note. The refreshed rupees 20 is the recent change by RBI. The front has the picture of Mahatma Gandhi and the back has the picture of one of the most beautiful caves in India. Let's know about them. The back of rupees 20 note has the picture of the beautiful Ellora caves located in Aurangabad, Maharashtra. There are over 100 caves which were constructed between 600 to 1000 Common Era. It is a series of 34 rock-cut caves and the most remarkable cave is the Kailashak, which is carved with a single stone. Now we have the rupees 50 note. The new fluorescent blue shaded rupees 50 note was released on 18th August 2017. Do you know which monument is printed on its back face now? The monument printed on the back of rupees 50 note is the stone chariot located in Hampi, Karnataka. This is a shrine dedicated to Garud, the official vehicle of Lord Vishnu. This was built by King Krishnadev Rai of Vijayanagar Empire. The chariot is designed so beautifully because its walls have carvings of mythical battle scenes on it. Now we have rupees 100. The note which we can see is the new 100 rupee note which was introduced in July 2018. The old note had the picture of Mount Kanchenjunga. Let's see which site is behind this rupees 100 note now. The monument printed on the back of rupees 100 note is Rani Ki Vav. Rani Ki Vav is a stepwell located in Patan, Gujarat. This stunning structure was constructed in 11th century by Solanki Queen Udayamati. Queen Udayamati built this structure as token of love and memory dedicated to her husband King Bhima Dev. As this monument was designed in a stepwell structure, therefore it helped in development of Gujarat and Rajasthan. Now we have rupees 200. The note which we can see is the new 200 Indian currency introduced by RBI in August 2017. The back side of the note features a famous Buddhist monument. Do you know it? The monument printed on the back of rupees 200 note is Sanchi Stupa, which is one of the oldest stone temple monument of India built around 3rd century BC by great Ashoka. The Great Stupa, which is located in Madhya Pradesh, was built by Ashoka when he changed his religion to Buddhism. Now we have rupees 500. The note in the picture was adopted due to the demonetization of rupees 500 back in 2016. The back picture is one of the most famous monument and pride of India. The image we see shows one of the most famous historical site, the Red Fort. It is located in the capital of India, Delhi. The structure was built in 17th century by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. The Red Fort is one of the most significant sites as the national flag is hoisted by the Prime Minister of India every year on Independence Day. Now, there are some interesting facts. All monuments printed on the currency notes are World Heritage Sites by UNESCO. Earlier, the Sun Temple used to be at the shore of Bay of Bengal and was used as a sailor's landmark. The highest denomination currency note is rupees 2000. Other than Hindi and English, there are 15 languages printed on every currency note. The back of rupees 2000 note doesn't feature any monument but of the Mangalyaan, the first satellite sent to the moon by ISRO. That's all for the presentation. Thank you for watching the presentation.
Hello everyone, I Khushbu of class 10th. Today I will show my coin collections which I started collecting some year back. These coins are of different countries. This coin is of 20 paise. Origin is India. This is the oldest coin I am having. It is also 20 paise. There is written food for all. This coin is of Nepal. Value is 1 rupiah. Its value is 5 paise. This coin is small in size but its value is 10 paise. Its value is 25 paise, having rhinoceros on its back. This coin is of United States of America. This coin is of Singapore. Value is $1.
Hello everyone, I am Kumari Bhavna from 10th F, and in this social science week I prepare a very interesting video based on my old coin collection of India and other countries also. Hope you will like my video. So without taking another second, let's get start the video.
friends, I'm my audio teacher. Today our Prachi of class 6F is going to showing you my project on solar system. So let's go through my model. So my model include a sun, which is a star, and it includes some several planets that are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. So this was my project on solar system. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. Today IRG Kathat is going to tell you about Ram Setu. Ram Setu or Adam. The ancient Indian Sanskrit epic Ramayana written by Valmiki mentions a bridge constructed by God Rama through his Vanara army to reach Lanka and rescue his wife Sita from the Rakshasa king Ravana. The location of the Lanka of the Ramayana has been widely interpreted as being present-day Sri Lanka, making this stretch of Rama's bridge. There are more stories about Ram Setu. The Western world first encountered it in the Ibn Khordad-based Book of Roads and Kingdoms, in which he referred to it as Set Bandhai or Bridge of the Sea. Some early Islamic sources refer to a mountain in Sri Lanka as Adam's Peak. The sources describe Adam as crossing from Sri Lanka to India via the bridge after his expulsion from the Garden of Eden, leading to the name of Adam's Bridge. Al-Biruni was probably the first to describe it in such a manner. A British cartographer in 1804 prepared the earliest map that called this area by the name of Adam's Bridge. So, we have known about Ram Setu. Let's know the location of Ram Setu. Ram Setu is a 48-kilometer long chain of limestone shoals. It is between the Pamban Island at the southeast coast of India and Mannar Island at the northwest coast of Sri Lanka. Ram Setu is a causeway created across the sea connected Pamban Island in Tamil Nadu to Mannar Island in Sri Lanka. Now, what is the age of Ram Setu? How old is the Ram Setu? The surveys indicates that the island of Rameshwaram in India and Talaimaran in Sri Lanka was exposed between 7,000 and 18,000 years ago. The existence of Ram Setu has been mentioned in the Hindu mythology Ramayana, but there has been no scientific proof yet that this is a man-made bridge. The bridge was reportedly possible on foot up to 15th century. Temple records seem to suggest that Ram Setu was completely above the sea level till 1480. It was due to natural calamities that it was completely immersed in the shallow sea. So, thank you and have a nice day ahead.
FRI, a unique architecture. Do you know about the FRI Dehradun? Let me tell you about the fascinating FRI. Origin of FRI. Since time anon, India has been known as a mystical land hailed for its exotic forests. When the British came here, they loved it. They had already romanticized the forests of India in Rudyard Kipling's most celebrated work, The Jungle Book. Soon, the British brought their scientific pursuit to this field. They established the British Imperial Forest School under the famous German forester Dietrich Brandis in 1878. Brandis was trailblazer for creating, managing, using, conserving and repairing forests in the subcontinent. In 1908, it was re-established as the Imperial Forest Research Institute and its aim was to train forest officers of the British Civil Services. History of FRI. The erstwhile Imperial Forest Research Institute was established in 1906. It had the motive to conserve forests and lead forestry research in India. Its history has its roots to the evolution and development of scientific forestry. This is not only for India but for the entire Indian subcontinent. The institute imparted training to forest officers and forest ranger in the country. After independence, the Indian government named it as Indian Forest Institute and Colleges. Later, in 1988, government brought FRI and its research centers and put it under the administrative umbrella of Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education, which is again under the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change, Government of India. Government declared FRI as a deemed university by the University of Grants Commission in the year 1991. Some interesting facts about FRI. The Forest Research Institute was previously at Chandbagh. They later shifted to its present location, Chakrata Road, in 1923. The great revolutionary Rash Bihari Bose, the master of disguise, worked at FRI for 8 years. He was a head clerk there. He was secretly trying to raise recruits from among the Bengali residents in the Doon Valley. The building of FRI was once listed for a time in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest purely brick structure in the world. The then Viceroy Willingdon inaugurated the main building of FRI in 1929. It is now a National Heritage Site. One can see a 700-year-old deodar tree standing in utmost pride in the FRI. Various Bollywood flicks have chosen the lavish campus of FRI as the backdrop, which includes Krishna Cottage, Pan Singh Tomar, Student of the Year, Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein, and Nanban. The Architecture of Forest Research Institute. FRI is one of the most impressive buildings made under the British Raj. It graciously sprawls over a lush green estate spreading over 450 hectares of land. It was designed in Greco-Roman architecture by C.G. Blomfield. The institute's edifice has a hint of colonial style with a plinth area of 2.5 hectares. The main structure of the building is almost 1,000 feet long. The bricks and mortar installed are grafted in repetitive patterns punctuated by molding strips. It further accentuates its broad width. The enormous building of the FRI has a simple symmetrical general plan. There are around 6 central courtyards surrounded by wide corridors on all sides. The Museums of Forest Research Institute. The mammoth building houses 6 gigantic museums, namely the Social Forestry Museum, the Pathology Museum, the Silviculture Museum, the Timber Museum, the NWFP Museum, and the Entomology Museum. These museums narrate the rise of forestry as a serious discipline, a contribution of the British Raj. Thank you.
I, Aish Pandey, welcome to all of you. So let us sit from here and go to the Ashoka Pillar of Sarnath, Varanasi. As you all know about the Sarnath, which is in Varanasi, it is known for the two historical things. The first is for the Buddha's first ceremony where he shared the Four Noble Truths, the Dharma or the law of the 5 monks, and it is given on the full moon day. And second, for the Ashoka pillar, the Ashoka pillar in the on erected at Sarnath by the Emperor Ashoka circa 250 BCE. Let us see some information about Sarnath. In ancient times, Sarnath was known by many names. The names are Rishipatna, Mrigdev, and Mrigdaya. The word Sarnath comes from a corruption of the name Sarangnath, the Lord of Deer. Some interesting thing about Ashoka pillar. 200 years after Buddha, the modern emperor Ashoka fought the battle of Kalinga and disgusted by the bloodshed and became a Buddhist. Ashoka built many beautiful stupas and monasteries in Sarnath, and one of them is Ashoka pillar. Structure of pillar. On the top of the column, the capital has three parts. First, base of the lotus flower, the most ubiquitous symbol of Buddhism. The lotus flower has great importance in Buddhism. It is a symbol of purification of body, speech and mind. Then a drum on which four animals are curved, representing the four cardinal directions are horse, west, an ox, east, an elephant, south, and a lion, north. Four lions stand atop the drum, each facing in the four cardinal directions. Their mouths are open, roaring or spreading the dharma, the four noble truths, across the land. The lion represents the Buddha, formerly Sarakya Muni, a member of the Sakya lion clan. All these things together make Ashoka pillar. State emblem. The state emblem of India is an adaptation from the Sarnath lion, capital of Ashoka. Carved out of a single block of polished sandstone, the capital is crowned by the wheel of the law Dharma Chakra. It is depicted on the 1 rupee note, 2 rupee coin, or many coins and notes. In the state emblem adopted by the Government of India on 26 January 1950, the word Satyameva Jayate from Mundaka Upanishad, meaning truth alone triumphs, are inscribed below the abacus in Devanagari script. Current time about Ashoka pillar. Where is it and how is it? The pillar remains where it was originally sunk into the ground. But the capital is now on display at the Sarnath Museum. You may also see the brief history about Ashoka pillar on the stone script put by the government in both languages, English and Hindi also. So thank you and have a nice day to all of you.
She wasn't powerful because she wasn't scared, but because she went on so strongly despite the fear. A very warm good morning to one and all present here. Today, Iria Bhandari of class 10th A is here to present something special. History course books are replete with stories of brave men, but only a few women out of the countless make the cut. A homage to some of the unsung extraordinary women on this day. Starting with Sarojini Naidu, the Nightingale of India. She was a prominent face in the Indian freedom struggle. Her poetry invigorated passion for independence among the masses. She played a vital role in the civil disobedient movement as well as in Quit India movement. In 1925, she became the second woman president of the Indian National Congress. Next is Janki Devi Bajaj. A close associate of Mahatma Gandhi, she took up khadi and spinning the charkha as a political tool during the freedom struggle. In year 1921, inspired by Gandhiji, Janki Devi Bajaj burnt foreign clothes, and went house to house teaching how the charkha worked. Then we have Captain Lakshmi Sehgal, a lieutenant in the Indian National Army during Second World War. She fought alongside Netaji Bose against the British. She was one of the founding members of the All India Democratic Women's Association in 1981. In 1998, she was conferred with the Padma Vibhushan. Captain Sehgal also contested in presidential elections against Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in 2002. Then we have Sarla Devi, a feminist and social activist. She played an important role in the freedom struggle and contributed to the making of modern Odisha. A part of the Mahila Samaj, an organization which motivated women to participate in India's freedom struggle, she became the first woman to become a part of the Odisha Legislative Assembly. Then coming to Abadi Banno Begum, popularly known as B. Amma Abadi Banno Begum, was one of the first Muslim women leaders in the Indian freedom struggle. She was also the first woman to address a political gathering in a burqa. She took part in the Khilafat movement and encouraged other women to join the cause for freedom from the British. Rani Gadanlu, born in Manipur, was a Naga leader who joined the freedom struggle at a young age of 13 with the sole motive of driving away the British from Manipur and Nagaland. Gadanlu became a strong force in the Hiraka movement, leading guerrilla attacks on the British authority. She was arrested in 1932 when she was barely 16 and was released in 1946 after having spent 14 years in prison. Rani Gadanlu was awarded the Padma Bhushan in 1982 and Vivekanand Seva Award in 1983. Now, here we have some of the special female warriors who have contributed significantly in the difficult times that the whole world is going through. Coronavirus. This pandemic is not just about the virus itself, it has brought with it hunger, loneliness, homelessness, violence, and domestic abuse. At such a time, there are people around the country rising to lead community work, bring support and service the people selflessly in different ways they can. These brave hearts are the true Corona warriors. So, with this, we come to the end of this presentation. Hope you all liked it. A special thanks to all the teachers who supported, guided, and gave me this opportunity to work on such a project. Thank you so much and have a wonderful social science.
An aerial view of Horseshoe 300 years old architectural marble stepwell at Chandrasekharapuram, Prakasham district, Andhra Pradesh. The villager walk distance and carry water from this stepwell.
A very warm good morning to one and all present here. Today, I, Akansha, is going to give a presentation on one of the magnificent historical monuments of India, that is
Vijay's Thumb. Vijay's Thumb or Victory Tower can be rightly counted among the less known monuments in Rajasthan, as it has not received the attention that it deserves. It is located in Chittorgarh of Rajasthan. The structure was built between 1442 and 1449 by the King of Mewar. The history of Vijay's Thumb is quite intriguing in itself. It is a piece of resistance of Chittorgarh. It was built in honor of Raja Kumbha's victory over Mahmud Khalji. The 9-story tower, soaring to a height of 37 meters, is undeniably among the most famous features of Chittor Fort. The tower is so tall and massive that it is visible from any part of the city. One has to climb 157 steps to reach the top part of the tower. The top has a mesmerizing view of entire city. Vijay's Thumb, constructed of white marble and sandstone, is a dedication to Lord Vishnu and has intricate carvings and sculptures of gods and goddesses. There is a portrait of the architect of the tower and his 3 sons carved on the 5th floor. The highest story consists of an image of Jain goddess Padmavati. Also, the word Allah is carved 9 times on the 3rd floor and 8 times on the 8th floor. The tower is an excellent example of religious pluralism practiced by the Rajputs. At last, I would like to conclude my presentation with a small quote that monuments are the grappling irons that binds one generation to another. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead.
Good morning everyone. I am Chandrakant of class 10th A and today I will briefly gonna tell you about the Himalayas with my little presentation. First of all, we're gonna talk about the Himalayas. What are Himalayas? Himalayas are the range of mountains acting as a separator between Tibetan Plateau and the subcontinent of India. It includes highest mountains of the world. World's highest mountain, Mount Everest, is also a part of Himalayas. So where are Himalayas situated? Himalayas are situated between the Tibetan Plateau and the Indian subcontinent. Now I'll gonna tell you about how Himalayas were formed. Due to the movement of tectonic plates, the Indo-Australian plates got detached from Gondwana land and collides with Eurasian plate. As the result of collision, Himalayas were formed. Now let's move on to division of Himalayas. Himalayas are divided into 3 ranges from north to south. First, Himadri or Inner Himalayas. Second, Himachal or Lesser Himalayas. Third, Shivaliks or Outer Himalayas. Let us see some amazing facts on Himalayas. Fact number 1. Indo-Australian plates move about 20 mm per year, causing the mountains to continue to grow in size. Fact number 2. Himalayas were below the sea level some 50 million years ago. Fact number 3. Out of the 14 highest peaks in this world, Himalaya holds 9. Fact number 4. Himalayan ranges is the third largest deposit of snow and ice on this planet. Fact number 5. The term Himalayas means abode of snow. Now I am shortly gonna tell you about the Gangotri Glacier. Gangotri Glacier is located in Uttarkashi district of Uttarakhand, India. This glacier is one of the primary sources of the river Ganga. This glacier is 30 km long and 2 to 4 km wide. Now let's talk about the two famous pilgrimages at Chamoli Garhwal, Kedarnath and Badrinath. Kedarnath is the temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. This temple is one of the Char Dham pilgrimage of Garhwal Himalayas. It is seen as homogeneous form of Shiva. Badrinath. Badrinath is a temple situated in the town of Badrinath. It is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. It is open only for 6 months because of extreme weather conditions. At last, I'll show you a video of Himalayas. That's all for the presentation. Thank you.
How Swami Vivekananda shaped India's image abroad. If you and I were to meet Americans, would we, in any possible case, address them as our brothers and sisters? Perhaps no. But there was one exceptional and charismatic monk who did. He was the highly intellectual monk compatriot Swami Vivekananda, the noblest son of India. Rendered with vibrant persona and erudition, he painted a bright picture of his motherland before whosoever he spoke to. One such example can be traced back to his Parliament of Religions address in Chicago, wherein his words of universal acceptance of all religions, yet being true to one's own, reverberated through the Parliament which became alive through him.
Swami Vivekananda fervently believed that India was a land of spiritual realm, that it held captive enormous potential but was lagging because of abject poverty and callousness, that illiteracy and superstitions held back the reins of India's development. However, he left no stone unturned in trying to alleviate the pain of the masses and bring to them rays of positivity. To do that, he brought to the world's attention all the treasures India had been preserving for ages. Its highly regarded Vedanta scriptures, Upanishads, and holy writings. To whom do we owe the gratitude for bringing India to the limelight on the global platform? To this very monk himself. He presented the motherland as a tolerant land, as someone who had sheltered people of all religions and nationalities, as someone who had given to this whole wide world the gift of a mysticism and spiritualism. Further, he let the world learn about the philosophy, psychology, and ideas of Hinduism that dwell in her soul. For these contributions and many others, we owe the regeneration of our motherland to Swami Vivekananda, who not only gave India a reason to survive, but to grow and conquer her fears and strive ahead. If it was not for him, the West wouldn't have ever known the gems our motherland holds in her lap. Probably that is why he still lives on in our memories as the monk who had patriotism running through his veins.
Today I'll be describing different drainage pattern. But first of all, we need to know what does drainage means. So, the flow of water through well-defined channels is called drainage and many such channels forms the drainage system. Now we shall learn the different drainage patterns through the clay models. First, we are going to look at the dendritic pattern. When the river, along with its tributaries, forms a branch-like structure, it is called dendritic pattern. The river Ganga also follows the system. The next drainage pattern is trellis. When the primary tributaries of a river flow parallel to each other and the secondary tributaries join them at right angle, it forms a trellis system. Rivers originating from Chota Nagpur Plateau are the example of this drainage pattern. Now we will discuss the radial pattern. When the river originates from a hilly or mountainous place and flows in all directions, it forms the radial pattern. Rivers originating from Amakantak hills like Narmada and Son are the example of radial pattern. So now let us talk about centripetal drainage pattern. When the river from all directions discharges their water in a depression or lake, it forms the centripetal drainage pattern. Examples of this pattern are Dead Sea in Israel and Loktak Lake in Manipur.
Do you know who Radhanath Sikdar was? Well, he was the first person to calculate the height of Mount Everest. Let's find out how did he manage to do that. Radhanath Sikdar was born in Calcutta in 1813 and pursued his education in mathematics. In 1832, he was recommended by his professor to George Everest for Great Trigonometric Survey Department of India for the British government, and there he got a job as a human computer. In 1851, he was promoted to the position of chief computer and transferred to Calcutta. His job was to carry geodetic surveys there, and he not only used established methods but also invented his own. This is when he started measuring the snow capped mountains of Darjeeling. The brilliant mathematician who had never seen Mount Everest discovered in 1852 that the Kanchenjunga, which was considered to be the tallest in the world, wasn't really so. At that time, foreigners were not allowed to enter the border of Nepal, so from a distance he calculated the height of Peak 15 with the help of a special tool and trigonometry formulas, and this height was calculated as 8,839 meters. Andrew Walk assessed Radhanath Sikdar's claim for 4 years and officially announced his finding in March 1856. He considered Sir George Everest as his mentor, and that is why he sent a proposal to rename the Peak 15 mountain to Mount Everest, and the proposal was also accepted. And in this way, the credit for measuring the official height of Mount Everest was taken away from Radhanath Sikdar. In 1865, the mountain previously known as Peak 15 by the British was officially renamed Everest. Radhanath Sikdar passed away in May 1870, and while his name has gradually faded into oblivion, it would do us good to remember this gifted mathematician. Without his efforts, Peak 15 would have just been another mountain in the Himalayas.
A very beautiful morning to respected Principal Ma'am, Vice Principal Ma'am, teachers, and all the amazing students present here. I am Nikita Lasmana, student of class 12 C1, and today I'm here to present my Social Science Week project on the topic The Exploration of the River Brahmaputra. Today we will get to know how the mighty Indian river Brahmaputra was discovered and some interesting facts about the river as well. So let's gear up and let's get started. So here, as we can see, is a very calming and scenic view of the river Brahmaputra. It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? So let's get to know how the discovery of this majestic river actually started. The exploration of the Brahmaputra River started as early as the 18th century but came into everybody's knowledge in the 19th century. So it took that many years for us to discover this river. But I'd say it was worth it. The explorations of the Indian survivor Kinto, whose picture is given here, and J.F. Needham, a British officer, in Assam in 1886, established the Sangpo River as the upper course of the Brahmaputra. How they came to this conclusion is what we are going to explore today as we go further. The extraordinary story of the Brahmaputra. So, this is where the story of exploration starts. The Britishers hired many Indians for the secret expeditions regarding the Brahmaputra, who were then known as Pandit explorers. And let me tell you, the Britishers hired these Pandit explorers only after they thought that they were educated enough or literate enough to become an explorer. Kinto, the hero of our story, which I have introduced to you in the previous slide, was a man from Sikkim credited with the discovery of the Brahmaputra River. He wasn't a Pandit explorer, but he still went far and beyond on his exploration trip with his friend, which proves his passion and dedication. So, he proceeded to Tibet and rode down the Sangpo. Now, the duo, that is Kintup and his friend, they traveled for many months and reached Gala Sindons, which is the farthest known point on the Sangpo. It's the name of a place. The British Survey Department asked the duo to mark and float logs of wood down the river, and the workers would look out for them. They couldn't go any further. The only way left was to travel through the Pom region in Tibet, which was very dangerous. But given how passionate Kintup was to discover the river, he still went ahead even if it meant risking his and his friends' lives. In May 1881, they reached the town of Tongskuk Bosong. The Mongolian friend betrayed him and sold him to the head of the town, and here Kintup was forced to work as a servant for nearly a year. Kintup approached the head monk at the local monastery and was assured freedom only if he worked for the monastery, to which he agreed. Obviously, because he wanted to get out of there and continue with his exploration, right? So he gave it his all and he worked day and night to prove himself. And finally, his effort was recognized. The head monk was impressed by his dedication and hard work and permitted him to make a pilgrimage down the river to the holy mountain of Konu Potrans. This is a picture of the holy mountain of Konu Potrans. Now, Konu for trans is a very important place at this particular point in the story for Kinto, as he grabbed the opportunity and prepared logs of wood and marked them to send them down the Sangpo as ordered by the British officers. He was giving it his blood, sweat, and tears. But will his effort get recognized? Let's see. So now, Kintup went ahead and tied metal tubes to the logs and marked them. He released 50 logs per day for the next 10 days. After 4 years, in November 1884, he finally reached survey office in Assam and was disappointed to know that nobody had checked for the logs, which means that all his effort went down the drain and that he had no other way to prove his exploration of river Brahmaputra. He narrated his story to many, but no one even bothered to listen to him. All that for nothing. All his effort, all he did, all that blood, sweat, and tears he put into nothing. In 1886, a British explorer, J.F. Needham, took up the Sangpo expedition and found that the Sangpo and the Brahmaputra were indeed the same river. It was finally proved that Kintup was right all this time. Around the same time, some of the logs that Kintup had released were found by some villagers, much to his relief. The British Survey Department honored Kintup for his painstaking effort, and his effort was finally recognized. This is a book written by J.F. Needham. It's about his own accounts of the Brahmaputra River. So here we have this blue line that represents the route of the Brahmaputra River, and it shows how it travels all the way from Tibet to China, comes into India through Arunachal Pradesh, travels through Assam to Bangladesh, and finally merges here in the Bay of Bengal. So here again there's the route of the Brahmaputra River given on a map, but this time the map also has a scale on it. So let's see. So the blue line represents the Brahmaputra River. So this is a route of the Brahmaputra River. The pink line represents the tributaries. So all these are the tributaries of the Brahmaputra River. The white area is the basin area, and the brown region is the high basin elevation. So all this is high basin elevation, and the blue region is the low basin elevation. So almost all of the area given from India and Bhutan is in the low basin elevation. So here are some interesting facts about river Brahmaputra. So it flows through 3 different countries, that is India, China and Bangladesh. That's pretty cool, right? And this river's name changes as per its geographical location, as it is called Sangpo in China, Brahmaputra in majority of the Indian states, the Lao in Assam, and Dihang in Arunachal Pradesh. So here we have another map that denotes the route of the Brahmaputra River and how it travels from Tibet to China, enters in India through Arunachal Pradesh, comes through Assam, and then goes through Bangladesh and merges into the Bay of Bengal. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you everybody for being a patient listener and a wonderful audience. It was a great time presenting this very interesting topic about the river Brahmaputra. I hope everybody present here got to know a little bit about the Brahmaputra river and enjoyed the presentation as much as I enjoyed presenting it. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day ahead.
सर्वेऽपि सुखिनः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। शान्तिः अन्तरिक्ष शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिः आपः शान्तिः ओषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिः विश्वे देवाः शान्तिः कामः शान्तिः क्रोधः शान्तिः ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वः शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः साम शान्तिरेधि यतो यत समीहसे ततो नो अभयं कुरु शन्नः कुरु प्रजाभ्यो भयं न पशुभ्यः सुशान्तिर्भवतु सुशान्तिर्भवतु